Good afternoon, happy Thursday, and welcome to yet another episode of The Hunt. I am Kevin Roth, your host, and this is our weekly show dedicated towards helping hiring managers and candidates navigate the wild world of recruiting. For those tuning in for the first time, I'm a managing director of Advice Personnel. We're a recruitment agency here in New York. And we brought this show for the past year to bring advice, insight, storytelling to really help set you up for success, whether you're hiring new talent or looking to find a job. We're bringing different scenarios and stories every single week, and glad to have you. Hopefully everyone's tuning in from all over. The beauty of this show is that it's meant to be interactive. So use the comment box throughout the show, chime in, ask questions. That's the benefit of being in the live format, although I know some people have a tough time at 3 o'clock Eastern on a Thursday, taking time out just to watch me. But if you are fortunate enough to be taking that break, use the comment box, tell me where you're watching from, ask questions, and would love to make this as engaging and interactive as possible. So again, those tuning in for the first time, this is our weekly show, hopefully helping give some good insight and advice to those that are navigating the job market, whether either from a hiring perspective or looking for a new position themselves. In terms of today's episode, we are talking about what has become a very, very popular topic, especially recently. I always try to bring to light topics that we've seen a lot in our office over the past couple weeks. And this is one that has been popping up more and more. And I've seen companies approach it in a good way. I've seen companies approach it in a very bad way. And I thought it would be an appropriate forum to speak to some of the hiring managers out there and job seekers to better understand both sides of how to approach this very common scenario. And the scenario revolves around the period of time until a new hire starts. All right, so we all have been there. If you're a hiring manager, you've gone through an exhaustive process. You are drained. You've met a ton of candidates. Your team's been struggling and picking up the slack. You've been desperate to bring on this new hire. You finally find the person that you want to bring on. You can't wait for them to start in 2 weeks. They give their 2 weeks notice. And then you get that email that says, candidate would really love an extra week before they have to start. And the initial gut instinct is, anger, frustration, really disappointment. You were so psyched to get this person on board. And a lot of times that emotion can lead to a negative reaction. And this episode is all about taking you through the proper way to approach that scenario, understanding where candidates are coming from, the different perspective, and just helping you get some guidance here in this forum to be able to put it to use when this is happening to you, so that after this entire journey, you're not blowing it at the very last step in the process. And a lot of times there's a very logical approach to this. So again, thanks to everyone for tuning in. We got a few people from Manhattan. I'm in Midtown as well, from right in 45th and 5th. Don't know where you're tuning in from. And Jenna Roth, no relation except that she is my wife, tuning in to support the show as well. So thank you for that. But in terms of this topic, so when you're talking about that notice period, the first thing to figure out is, again, take a step back. It's an extra week or two. Obviously, ideally, you'd want them sooner. But before you react, let's take a step back first and first understand, one, why do you need them sooner? And really understanding that concept is key to how you're going to approach the response to that candidate. So do you need them sooner because there's something tangible or legitimately valuable to both the team and to this candidate as to why they would benefit from starting sooner? Because that can have a very drastic impact on the candidate's openness to maybe being somewhat convenient or comfortable making a negotiation there. So is it something legitimate? Do they do you guys need them sooner because you have a deadline that it would really benefit them to go through with you and see that process? Do you need them sooner because you have a candidate or someone in the role who's going to be leaving, and it would really benefit this person to shadow them and learn from them and train from them? Those are real strong examples if it could benefit that candidate by being there sooner, versus if it's just a matter of you guys have been drained, you're trying, you're scraping and clawing, the team's really holding on, and you just want them there sooner. That's still a legitimate reason to be somewhat disappointed, but it doesn't have as much weight to it. So as a hiring manager watching this, if you've had someone request a longer notice period until they start, before you respond, before you think about if you want to take a hard stance or put your foot down, figure out, why do I really need this person sooner? And can it benefit this person to start earlier as much as it can benefit us? The second piece, naturally, on the inverse side, is understanding why the candidate needs more time and what the motivations are for them. And that should be done on the phone. Get off email, jump on a phone call. Once you've figured out why you really want them sooner and you have that framed in your mind, now set up a conversation with them. Find out what drives them before you jump right into why you need them. Tap into their mindset and what they're thinking. And we've seen this a lot recently because a lot of people are so stressed out with work. You're home, you're working hard, grinding. No one takes vacations anymore. Everyone's kind of gone through this crazy year. And now people finally want, this is the first time I'll be able to take a break. I'd love to take 1 week off and start relaxed and rejuvenated. That's one reason you could see. Other reason we're seeing a lot of is these people have bonuses they're waiting on, or they're trying to help their company through a really tough time and get them to a tight deadline. So you really want to understand and hear them out first so that you can best position your side of it and see if you guys can come to a common reasoning. Now, the key to this is finding that compromise and being objective, right? Put yourself in their shoes as much as you possibly can, although all of us want to be a little selfish. When you're making this hire, don't screw it up at the finish line. You've gotten this whole way. You've gotten 25 miles of the marathon. Don't trip up on the last mile. I think a marathon is 26 miles. So if I'm wrong, I apologize to any runners who are watching this show. But in terms of that compromise, the best way to approach it is figure out, in that real-time conversation, which reasoning really holds more weight. If this candidate's really exhausted and they need that break to start, and the only reason you're looking for this person sooner is because you just have a team that's tired and worn out, well, how's it going to feel when you bring someone new into the group who's already a little tired and burnt out to a group that's already been drained? You're not really giving a good vibe there. So give them the extra week if it's all about just looking out for both sides, and give them that time to refresh. On the contrary, if there's a legitimate reason that you need them sooner, you have a window coming up, a quarterly reporting deadline that would really be so critical for them to see because they'd be setting themselves up for success going forward. And their only reason for staying longer is because they feel a little guilty about leaving their team. Well, now I might take a little firmer approach, right? Because in my impression, your needs as a company and the benefit to them to start sooner as an employee kind of outweigh that feeling of guilt. And I think they're going to be setting themselves up in a better position if they jump on board now. So if you have questions about this, use the comment box. Again, the show's meant to be interactive. So I love that we got a lot of New York fans here. Brooklyn's here. Midtown's here. Midtown East is here. But ask some questions if you have any thoughts on asking for more time before you start, the reasons behind that, and I'll make sure I get to those towards the end of the show. But the point of this is all step one, before you even respond, before you get antsy about this person doesn't want to start, they're buying more time, what are they doing? Am I going to lose them? I need them now. Reflect inward. Think about, why do I really need them here? And come up with that logic. Step two, get on the phone with the candidate. Hear them out. First, open up the floor to them. Let them take you through their reasoning. Be able to explain your side. And then step three is finding that compromise. And although everyone kind of puts more weight into their own, their own desires more so than others in most cases, there's a very logical understanding of which side would benefit more from making this decision. And you'd be shocked by how amazing this conversation can be in terms of building that rapport. Too many times we see this done via email, candidate asks for more time, client says we can't do it, and then everything sort of falls apart at the last step. That kills momentum. And you don't want that to happen based on things that haven't been said or understood. So again, one more time to really drive this home. And Harry Parkhurst, welcome to the show. It seems like you chime in on my episodes. Your brother George feels a little left out that he hasn't seen you comment on his, but glad at least that you came to join the show. But again, getting back to this, I think it's really important to find that happy medium and really get an understanding of your motivations as a company, their motivations as a candidate, and which one outweighs which. And in today's market, if you're a hiring manager watching this, candidates are drained. They're exhausted. They haven't taken vacation. And to give them that week to refresh, recharge, re-energize it'll do wonders for you. I mean, think how crazy it is to work a job every single day of your life, get to a Friday night, you close out your last day, you have Saturday afternoon to enjoy yourself. Then by Sunday, you're already having to prepare for a new company and a new position and stepping right into it. You know, there's something healthy there about taking that break and taking that separation. So think about the logic behind it. Make smart decisions around when it does make sense for you to cave a little bit and give them that more time, but also be prepared to hold firm if it doesn't make sense and the only thing driving them is this guilty feeling of leaving their company, and you really could see them benefiting. You have an employee transitioning out, as I mentioned, who can train them and onboard them, show them the system, show them the ropes, and if they wait another 2 weeks, that employee is no longer going to be there. That's a real good reason that person should be taking that leap of faith and saying, you know what, I feel guilty, but this is going to be more important for my career going forward. So feel those options out. And I hope this is helpful because there's too many situations where at the end, people are butting heads over as short a time frame as a week or two. And remember, if you're a company, the ultimate point, if you take nothing away from this session versus this last point, and you're a hiring manager watching this, if you've gone all this way and you've searched for months to find this candidate and you finally have them sitting in front of you and ready to go, and it's a matter of 1 to 2 weeks that will make them happy or potentially turn them off, if you lose that candidate, that 2-week period that you just lost them over is going to pale in comparison to having to start the search over and go another 2-3 months before you even find that person. So let the egos aside. Don't put it into a whole battle of if he likes us, he or she should be on board. Make it more about what makes sense for you, what makes sense for the company, and what's going to bring this person on board happy and in good spirits. And I can't tell you the number of situations where this small little thing really gets in the way. So if anyone else has any questions or thoughts or ideas, or you want to get input or advice on how to approach a certain thing, whether you're the one who's looking for a job or you're someone who's looking to hire, use the comment box, chime in now. We'll wrap up the show in a couple seconds. But if you're not watching this live, make sure you use that comment box throughout the week. You can private message me on LinkedIn as well. Make sure you connect with me and follow Advice Personnel. We're bringing another episode to you every single week about these exact topics. So if no more questions, I hope everyone got some great value out of this. I hope we see more and more companies starting to become a little more open-minded and flexible when it comes to these date ranges. And I also hope more candidates out there and job seekers are understanding of the reasons it can benefit you to start a company sooner. And we did a segment 2-3 weeks ago about giving 2 weeks notice and not letting this guilty feeling or you're letting everybody down, you're hurting your team, change your ability to move into a new job and move forward with your career, because there's a lot of people on your team who wouldn't show you the same courtesy, and you got to be selfish when it comes to your career. So again, thank you everyone for tuning in. I appreciate the input. We have a great presence from Brooklyn here. Fort Greene is in the house, Williamsburg, Manhattan. So it looks like New York City's well covered. I hope everyone tunes in next week for a brand new episode of The Hunt, and use the comment box, like I said, throughout the rest of the week. I'll make sure I get to those comments. Follow Advice Personnel on LinkedIn. Connect with me. Send me messages if there's anything you need or any advice I can give, or if we can help you with your hiring. And I hope everyone has a great rest of the week and an awesome weekend. Thanks again for tuning into The Hunt. Take care. We'll be back soon.